So to summarize everything again, just a brief summary. This beginning tells the story of the beginning of the Land of Shadow, or Shadow in general. And maybe it's like when grace was first created, it had to create darkness, kind of like a yin and yang thing. Though, another very key detail is that these bracers and this little arm bracer that it has, like on the bicep, this has 2 bracers on each wrist and then also 1 like bicep bracer, which we know MARIKA does have. She does have these bracers. After that, this is when Messmer set the land ablaze. Whoever is narrating this is clearly against Messmer and his ideals, which means they're against the Golden Order. But we know that Miquellas is against the Golden Order only because they couldn't heal him and his sister. He was fond of the Golden Order and loved his father for a long time when he was a child. But as he grew up, he realized the Golden Order couldn't help him and his sister, so he created his own Erdtree. That's the only reason Miquellas is going against the Golden Order. He has no personal grudge against them. It's just they couldn't help him, so therefore he's on his own. He's got to go do his own thing. This land looks like it's a land that also goes against the Golden Order because they have their own beliefs, they have their own culture, they have their own society. They had something going that had nothing to do with the Golden Order. So this is likely where Messmer is either sent or kept to purge this land so that the land of Shadow, if it is going against the Golden Order, gets laid to rest. It's not worthy of song. It's again, in the NPCs' eyes, this is messed up. Yes, it is messed up, regardless. Because it's a purge without grace. He's purging everything without grace. This lion looks like it's representing the culture of this area before Messmer came and is defending their homeland. It's not like the lion is being the aggressor here. It's trying to make it look like the lion is the aggressor, but really it's Messmer. Messmer is the aggressor. Messmer is the one purging this land. He is very, very unemotional. He is very serious. He believes what he's doing is correct. He's killing all of these people with no remorse. He does not care about what they believe in, just that they are not believing what he believes in or going against him in some way. That's why everything must burn. That's why everything must die. This whole Land of Shadow is an area that does not follow the teachings or belief of the Erdtree or the Golden Order. So therefore, he's sent here to sort of purge it. It's not a good thing, but again, if you asked MARIKA if it was a good thing, she would agree. If you asked Godwin if it was a good thing, he would agree. If you asked Miquellas, he might have agreed if the Golden Order was able to cure him and his sister from their curses. We know that Miquellas only left and betrayed the Golden Order because they couldn't help them. That is the only reason Miquellas left. If they could have cured him and his sister, he would have never left. That is literally in the lore. That is fact. These are the new graces. Maybe they're created by Miquellas' Great Rune. We don't know. We see Miquellas here. He's probably creating these graces, leaving them around for us to go. Maybe St. Trina, we're going to learn more about, we're going to get confirmation on what St. Trina is here. And then these are the NPCs that we are going to be with, like the other Tarnished like us. And in this Land of Shadow, we're going to be exploring why Miquellas came here, why these people follow him, what they believe in, and hopefully why Messmer did what he did. So let me know if you guys agree, let me know if you disagree, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like or subscribe if you enjoyed. I will be making more DLC content later. I'll be making a lot of DLC related builds very, very soon. My channel is mainly known for builds and min-maxing. I will be doing a ton of that once this DLC comes out. And I also stream on YouTube a lot, so check me out if I'm live. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Super cool that they got this trailer out. It just came out like 3 hours ago. And I hope that my analysis was very thorough and very in-depth. If I missed anything, please let me know. I think I covered most things. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Yo, what's up, guys? Cyrobe here once again. Missed you all. Glad to be back with more lore video breakdowns and the newest Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree Story trailer analysis. I'm going to be pulling apart everything frame by frame. One thing I want to say, this is not going to be a general, like, surface level and analysis. I'm going to take my time ripping apart this 3 minutes, regardless of how long it takes me. I want to go by everything that we've discussed on my stream and with my community over the last like couple hours. I didn't want to be a channel that just kind of pumps out a live reaction and just goes, oh my god, what is this? I don't know, because I feel like that's going to be every single channel within the next 24 hours just giving their initial reaction. I wanted to actually take a deep dive into this. So if that's what you like and that's what you're here for, be sure to just like and subscribe. We're going to be making more DLC related content very, very soon, and especially more DLC builds as well. So can't wait for that. But at the very start, if you want to see the full trailer, go watch the full trailer. I'll link it in my comments and in my description. I'm not going to be sitting here watching it from start to finish. I already watched it over a dozen times from start to finish, and I'm just going to be pulling apart everything and pausing a lot. So Miquellas the Kind spoke at the beginning. So that means whoever is speaking is not Miquellas. This is not Miquellas speaking. I thought this voice initially in the other trailer was Miquellas, because if you hear it in this trailer, you can hear it sounds like this voice.
Travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
So that voice says to me that whoever this is, I thought that at first was Miquellas or might be Miquellas. If this is the same voice in that trailer, then that means it's not Miquellas, confirmed. But I don't know if you think these guys are the same. I think they sound very similar.
Miquellas the Kind spoke of the beginning.
Play it again.
Touch the withered arm. Come now. Touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow.
Yeah, and they were referring to the withered arm of Miquellas in this, so that makes a lot more sense that if this is the same person, it's not Miquellas. We don't know who this is, though. That means we don't know who that is. Who it could be is anyone's guess. It's not anyone we've heard before. It's not Ranni. It's not Melina. It's not anyone we've heard before, and I can say that much at least. So it would have to be a new character. Now going on to the actual video itself.
And the betrayal.
This, immediately, a lot of people miss this. This looks like a robe or like a body bag of some sort. And this looks like it's somebody's forehead. You can kind of see a sort of hairline towards the top of what I assume their skull is. It was what they're looking at. It looks like their hair is being ripped out. This body bag very closely resembles kind of like a stitched like godskin sort of thing. It's not godskin, obviously, because you would see the faces and like features, but it just kind of feels like this is, whatever this is like some sort of body bag, and this is a dead body inside it. I mean, there's a bunch of dead bodies around it as well, so why is this one more important than the rest? Has to have some sort of significance, which is why this person is pulling out their hair. That does look like hair to me. A lot of people said maybe it's more like the inner grace of somebody being removed rather than their hair specifically, so that could be the case. Again, here, this person, we're going to talk a lot about this person. Again, two things that come to mind, Miquellas and MARIKA. A lot of people are saying it's MARIKA. Some people, like myself, are maybe speculating that it could be Miquellas. It might be a little bit of both. The long hair does not read to me as MARIKA. It reads to me more as Miquellas, as well as the androgynous masculine physique of this character. It doesn't read exactly like MARIKA, but one of the things I noticed was that, number one, the person, whoever it is, does appear to be shirtless. They do have a more androgynous masculine physique. Though, another very key detail is that these bracers and this little arm bracer that it has, like on the bicep, this has two bracers on each wrist and then also one like bicep bracer, which we know MARIKA does have. She does have these bracers. I feel like the hair just feels like it's a little too long to be MARIKA's. Again, not ruling that out completely, but specifically just the way MARIKA's hair is, it's more of like a braid. It is long, but it's not this long, is what I'm saying.
An affair.
What they're doing here is it says an affair from which gold rose and shadow was born.
So too was shadow born.
Right. So this might be sort of the, I guess, creation of grace. I don't know exactly if that's what's going on, but if shadow is being born from it, it would at least be the creation of shadow. So whether or not it's the creation of grace, again, nothing really to point to that, but this is literally saying this is where shadow was born. So whatever is going on here, whether it's MARIKA or Miquellas, it could be MARIKA. It's most likely MARIKA. I'm leaning if this is MARIKA and the narrator is talking about this specific area, they're talking about how MARIKA maybe created shadow. This is giving the context of what we're seeing. Whatever this person is doing, if it's MARIKA, was creating shadow as we know it.
What followed was a war.
And not shadow, keep in mind, not shadow like just generic, oh, the tree has shadow under it, but like the shadow. Notice how it's capitalized. When they refer to shadow was born, this is like a tangible object. This is like a title. It's not just like shadow as like a thing. It's shadow as like a person or a being or a tangible object.
Was shadow born.
The shadow was born. Not just, oh, the shade or like shadow of light under a tree. Now this is what we already have been told from the previous trailer. Messmer set this land ablaze. We know that he did because, I mean, we're literally told that we did in the original trailer. We're literally, in the description by Bandai Namco, they literally say this is a land set ablaze by Messmer's flame. We don't know why. We don't know what caused it, but I did speculate in my last video that Messmer burnt down this area because he believed that to whatever extent he was doing the right thing. Obviously, we as the player, or Miquella, or whoever the narrator is disagreeing with him. He's not doing the right thing. That's kind of what these villains believe in. The villains always believe that they're doing the right thing, whether or not they are. But this narrator, whoever this is, it's not Miquella, they're saying that this battle is not something worthy of being put to a song. That means this was not a good battle. This was not a battle that was like a fighting against for freedom or fighting something for a cause they believed in, really like in a justified way. It was more just, we're killing you because of X, Y, or Z. We're killing all these people because we just don't agree. It's not something that is truly justified. It's just more their opinion. They're killing these people. They're burning down this area just because it doesn't align with what they believe in. That's what it reads to me. And that would make sense if this battle was something that Messmer set the world or the land ablaze in because he just didn't agree with how their way of life was, so to speak. These little wicker baskets here, the wicker man, as we were describing earlier, this is where Messmer is putting all of the, I guess, unsightly creatures in and letting them burn. And what I'm assuming, this land is also a land that kind of more closely believes in the Crucible rather than the Golden Order, which we'll get into. We'll get into more in a sec. But again, we see Messmer here. Beautiful shot of Messmer. His little serpents as well. This, again, a little bit tricky to really decipher what this is. Some people were saying that this would be like some sort of reference to the gloam-eyed queen, specifically because of this little spiral tip. Maybe it's like a spear, sword spear tip, whatever you want to call it. I think if it is, it's more of a reference rather than a direct, this is it. Like, this was probably like the original one, and then something like the greatsword may have been inspired from it, or the stitcher, or the peeler. The way that they're spiraled does resemble it, but I don't think it would be like a one-to-one, like this is this, or this, or this. I think it's just all of these might be inspired by this. I don't think it's directly related. I think it's more just inspired or thematically related. Flame. So people are saying this could be the gloam-eyed queen. Again, nothing really points to that besides the spiral tip being related to the gloam-eyed queen. It's a good theory, though, and if it is similar to these spirals on these weapons, then it's probably more of a reference that these weapons are making rather than being directly from this area. Oh, and again, right here, we see the Lion Dancer. So I made this connection in the beginning of my stream, was that the Lion Dancer is fighting Messmer, right? Messmer is clearly going toe-to-toe with whatever this Lion Dancer is, which says to me that the Lion Dancer is more representative of the culture that existed here before Messmer and his army set it ablaze, before they purged it in their flame, before they tried to cleanse this land in however way they saw fit. This reads to me like this Lion Dancer, whoever it might be, it's not specifically clear, but they are just defending their home area. It looks like they're the aggressor, though. It looks like they're a savage beast and they're an aggressor. But keep in mind, they did the same thing with Radahn. In the initial trailer for Elden Ring, we see Radahn and Malenia fighting. And before we had any context to what these characters were, if you were there at this time, a lot of people assumed that whatever fight was going on, Radahn was the bad guy. We know now that he's actually the good guy. We know, like, objectively, Malenia was the one on the aggressor, or on the aggressive side, and Radahn was merely just defending himself. He was in his hometown, or his home country of Caelid, or whatever you want to call it, and that's where he belongs. Malenia, she's not from there. She came to fight him, ended up losing, so she nuked it with Scarlet Rot. That's literally the story. Whether or not he's true good doesn't really matter. It's just in this situation, in this context, Malenia is the aggressor. It paints it in a way that makes it look like Radahn is this evil, hulking beast with red glowing eyes or orange glowing eyes, and Malenia is just this like helpless soldier who's all alone, and all of their allies have been defeated, and they have a prosthetic arm, and it paints it in such a like the context surrounding this fight. If you didn't have the actual game context, just the trailer makes it look like Radahn is the aggressor, and that Radahn is just a stereotypical big bad guy. Like, you know, kind of like Ganondorf or something. But in reality, Malenia is the aggressor. We know that through the lore. We know that Malenia traveled to Caelid. She ended up technically losing. I know that they say a stalemate, but I'm in the belief that she lost because she had to nuke the entire continent of Caelid, or country of Caelid, just to have a chance of defeating Radahn. And after nuking him with the Scarlet Rot, she had to get dragged back unconscious by Clean Rot Finlay, which is literally described in the lore to be what happened. And when I look back at this trailer, going back to the Dawn trailer, they're making this thing look like an untamed beast. Because, you know, in a sense it is, and in a sense Radahn also is. But it looks like, also, this might be the native culture that exists here and is fighting for their homeland against Messmer. They're fighting against him. He's very indifferent. He's not emotional. Again, the villains have this sort of thing with them where they believe that their causes are justified. They believe that what they think and what they believe is the correct thing, regardless of what is or isn't correct, like morality-wise in everyone else's eyes. He probably believes, like, he has no emotion towards this. He looks more indifferent. You can tell there's a lot of emotion coming from this beast. He has a very serious demeanor, and it's more like, this isn't personal. I'm just doing what I think is right, and you're in the way. Again, you can see that this is likely the Lion Dancer pulled apart. This looks like it's pieces of the armor, pieces of the cloth. This is the Lion Dancer pulled apart, which is, again, begs the question, how are we fighting them in the DLC if they have already been killed? Maybe there's multiple? Maybe it's like a thing? I don't know. But this is clearly like each piece of the Lion Dancer has been pulled apart. They're all on pikes. All of the other people who try to stand against Messmer are on pikes as well. They're all dangling from spears. There's like 20 bodies in the background, and the only one standing alive is Messmer with his spear.
And so kindly Miquella would abandon everything.
Miquella abandoned everything because in the original trailer, it says he's divested himself of his flesh, of his lineage, of all things gold. So in order to be in this shadow, or this land of shadow area, you cannot have grace. It says Miquella abandoned everything, right? And we know that he did, because again, in this initial trailer, it says that he has, Miquella departed to this land, divesting himself of his flesh, his strength, his lineage, of all things golden, right? We know that he's an Empyrean, and that this land seems to be like it's an area where the Golden Order has no influence, where grace is not the main subject. Maybe grace can't exist here. Maybe it's not that grace doesn't exist here, but Messmer kills anything with grace, because again, in the initial trailer, would thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light, meaning whoever he's talking about has no light, has no grace, and that everything dies at the hand of Messmer and his flame. Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death in the embrace of Messmer's flame. Again, showing us that whatever Messmer's goals are, whatever his faction, wherever he aligns to, whether it's the Golden Order, I'm assuming it's the Golden Order because he's killing things without grace. That's perfect. That's what MARIKA would want. That's what the Golden Order would want.
And
so going back to this trailer,
everything.
One thing that stood out to me is that this looks like it's going to be our new grace. A lot of people were saying that this is Miquella's great rune, and it could be a little bit of both. I'm thinking that this is what is replacing our graces, because in Elden Ring, you have to rest at your grace. In Elden Ring, in order to level up, you have to have turn your golden runes into strength through the power of a maiden. That's why we have a maiden in the first place, because the maiden is allowing us to turn these runes that we've gathered into strength. Without Melina, we can't put our runes into strength. We can't turn our golden runes into power. We can have them, but they don't do anything for us without a finger maiden. This is a new area. This area, if it's like what I speculate, is an area where grace is not allowed. Maybe physically it's allowed, but under Messmer's rule, it's not allowed. So maybe it's like an area where anything with grace goes punished or gets punished, or it gets extinguished, whatever, by Messmer and his flame. This looks like, if it is Miquella's great rune, like some people are speculating, it is using his great rune as a way to create a grace or a place for us to rest. And the reason I speculate this is because, again, at the bottom, it looks more rounded out in like a cone shape, just like a grace would. This is where you would rest. This is where you would level up. This is where you would refill your flask. Everything that the grace does is most likely what this is going to represent. This is going to take place of the grace, because again, this is the land of shadow. Either grace isn't allowed here, or grace can't exist here. Whichever one it may be, this is replacing the graces that we know.
Even his faith.
And again, this is Miquella, and then it's cutting from Miquella to a shot of Saint Trina. In the Chinese interview, it did say that Saint Trina was going to make an appearance here in some form. We have only speculated to this point who Saint Trina is, or what they might be in terms of who they are to Miquella, or if they're the same person, or a split personality, or an alter ego. We don't know. None of that has been confirmed yet. This DLC is going to confirm what exactly is the case here. That's what I believe. This DLC is going to confirm what role Saint Trina plays with Miquella, if they're actually the same person, if they're different people, if they're alter egos, whatever. It's going to confirm for us what the case actually is between Miquella and Saint Trina. And another point or thing of interest is that it actually looks like a St. Trina lily with the dress in this position, or the outfit in this position. It looks like the tip of the lily, again, with the petals surrounding it, which is very interesting.
But we are not deterred.
And so whoever's speaking is a part of this new group of, I would assume they're tarnished as well. So whoever has been narrating this entire time, they're definitely part of this faction, this group of NPCs that you can clearly tell are here. They are not deterred. We choose to follow. Again, much like us, we're following in Miquellas' footsteps. Or sorry, in Miquellas' footsteps. We're following his footsteps quite literally in the very beginning. These people are also shown here. These are the same people from earlier. So these are the NPCs that we're meeting. And this is probably their story or the story of this land. And they're giving us the context for what happened to this area. The context for why this land of shadow is the way it is and why they choose to follow Miquella. This is Miquella's Great Rune or whatever. It's becoming a grace. Again, that's what you do in Elden Ring. You follow the graces. The graces point towards the direction that you're supposed to go. And this is probably going to be the same thing. It's probably going to have like a little streak on the floor, like the footsteps of Miquella. Remember, we follow Miquella's footsteps quite literally. So these could be like, it is not exactly like a footprint, but this could be something that Miquella's trail leaves, like a trail that he's leaving that point towards these new graces, these new sites of grace. Because again, if this area is what I think it is, if grace isn't allowed here or grace can't exist here, this would have to be the replacement for our graces. That's why there's also a new level up system that was confirmed that has a different level up system than the base game of Elden Ring, because in Elden Ring you level up with golden runes. You level up with the power of a finger maiden. You can't do that here. Grace does not exist here. Whether it can't or isn't allowed is different. Just that it doesn't. That's what we're trying to point out here, is that grace does not belong here. This area is a land filled without grace. We know that of all people who are accepting of things without grace, it would be Miquella. His Halig tree has a lot of things in it that are like the Mizbizgotten and the Albinarics who don't have grace. And he would see tarnished, like other people, as worthy of his love, and they would worship him as well, because they're like, oh, this guy actually cares for us even though we don't have grace. This whole land doesn't have grace, which is why he's probably coming here. He has his own reasons, and we'll explore that at the end. But these are all the NPCs that we see in the beginning. You can see that this person with the right here with the sword that's the exact same person. And then the person with the great rune at the beginning. The jar guy, him right there at the side. You can see the big bulky armor. You can also see the masked person that's sleeping in the St. Trina swamp right here. Again, I said this was a St. Trina swamp. It's like going to be like maybe like a Scarlet Rot swamp, but that puts you to sleep instead. You can see the NPC right there with very, very similar mask, if not the same. I mean, their mask looks a little bit more golden, but it's more the hair in the mask that I'm referring to. And then you can see this person at the beginning. Where are they at? Right here. This other NPC that you can see has this little crest on top of their hat, or on top of their helmet, I should say, not hat. Right there. First person in the very first row here. Likely the NPCs referring to what this land of shadow is, what happened here, and why they choose to follow Miquella. They're choosing to follow him. If this is Miquella's Great Rune, he's probably using his Great Rune, or if he has one, whatever it is. His Great Rune is probably not a tangible one. It's probably not like Godric. It's not like Rykard. It's not something that you can equip. It's not something that you're going to use, right? It's a Great Rune in the sense that, like, Rennala had her own Great Rune. And in order to respec, you have to use Renala's Great Rune. It was just a rune of, like, rebirth or something like that. It wasn't, like, an actual Great Rune that we can use. And I think his is going to be more of the same, where it's going to be something that we can actually use, like a grace to rest at. It's kind of like how we used hers to respec. So if this is Miquella's, like, Great Rune, it's just creating a grace and a point of rest for the player. This is going to probably, I would assume that this is where the player is going to, you know, refill their flasks, respawn enemies, and do all the things that grace normally does. But it can't be a normal grace. Like, look, it looks like a grace. It literally looks like it's trying to be a grace mimic, which we know is an item in the game, like the grace mimics. Like, it looks like it's trying to be one.
Will you walk with us?
And these are the NPCs talking to you, or us as the player, joining this area, saying, will you walk with us? This is the story of this area. Do you believe what we believe? Do you share the same beliefs as us?
Spoke of the beginning.
And this beginning part is like, again, this is probably what they're talking about, is the history of the Land of Shadow. Whatever is going on here created Shadow, created the Land of Shadow. This is probably where the Land of Shadow was created. And in this point of being created, again, whether or not this is MARIKA or Miquella. I'm still uncertain. I just don't know why the hair is so long if it is MARIKA. And it looks like they're holding sort of like a rune arc, but it's unclear what that is. It looks like hair at the same time, kind of like shaping a rune arc, maybe creating a rune arc. I don't know. Maybe it created some sort of rune arc or some sort of fragment of the Elden Ring, and then that created Shadow as like a kind of like a yin and yang, like light can't exist without darkness. So by creating this whole golden order or whatever, she accidentally created the Shadow Land or Land of Shadow, and maybe that is just something that was like a byproduct of it being created for the first time. And so while it's created, she probably sent Messmer here to purge everything that lived in or lived without grace. Because if it was an area that doesn't believe in the Golden Order, and maybe it looks like it worships the Crucible, like I speculated, that this area could be somewhere that actually worships the Crucible still, has a lot of spiral themes, and maybe they still worship the Primordial Crucible and not the Golden Order. And if that's the case, MARIKA, it would make sense that she wants everything here dead. It would make sense that everything in this area must be extinguished, must be put to rest. That's why it's not something worthy of a song. That's why it's an unsung battle, because this area, this was a bad thing. This was just a one-sided slaughter. This was Messmer coming in and cleansing everything that he didn't see fit or justified with his goals or his alignments. He just thought everything here is not what he believes in, so therefore it should die. It wasn't really a just cause, it was more just what he believes in. It's his justification. And the NPCs that are talking to you are saying that they don't agree with what he did. This was probably their home, and he probably burnt down all of their homes, killed a lot of their family members or friends, and they don't care what his beliefs are because they lost people that they care about. So that automatically puts them against him. Whether or not he's right or wrong for it is again, his beliefs would side with his mother, because we know his mother is MARIKA. We know that as MARIKA leads her Golden Order in Elden Ring, she kills every single thing that opposes her. Everything that can threaten the Golden Order or the Erdtree must die. Everything that lives without grace must die. Again, there's no emotion. He's not smiling. He's not laughing. He's not like, haha, I'm evil. This is evil and fun. It's more just like, this is what I have to do. This is the right thing. That's why that's his justification. So in my last video, I made my Messmer is a hero theory. And in that video, I'm saying that he's not a hero in the sense that he's the good guy here, but it's more in the hero that he believes he's the good guy, regardless of what we believe. Because if we're siding with Miquella, we're technically the bad guys. Miquella is considered a traitor to the Erdtree. If you're taking the context of the game, we would be considered bad guys, and Miquella would be considered a traitor to the Golden Order, to Messmer, to MARIKA. In that context, they would be considering themselves, justified. They would consider themselves the right path to follow. Anyone who goes against them is wrong, and they're the people who should be stopped. So yes, it says tyranny of Messmer's flame, because again, these are the people, the NPCs, who live in this area. They are saying that he's a tyrannical leader, and they don't believe in what he believes in. But obviously they wouldn't, because this is their home. But again, if you asked MARIKA or Godwyn, even Godwyn upheld the beliefs of the Golden Order till his death. That's why Godwyn had to die. A lot of people think that Godwyn was somebody who, if he was alive, would go against the Golden Order. He wouldn't. If Godwyn was still alive, he would be the first person defending the Golden Order from everybody. Godwyn would do everything in his power to protect the Golden Order if he was still alive. That's why he had to die, because a lot of the other children became traitors. Rykard became a traitor. Mohg became a traitor. Radahn was more neutral, but still kind of a traitor, because he didn't care about the Golden Order, but he didn't care enough to attack it. It was more just he didn't want anything to do with it. He just wanted to do his own thing. So literally everybody, Ranni was a traitor. Miquella and Malenia are technically traitors. They made their own Halig tree. So most of the children of the Golden Order are technically traitors to the Golden Order. Margit is actually not a traitor. Even though they don't accept him because he's an omen, keep in mind, he still never betrayed it, and he calls them all a traitor in his cutscene. Godwyn would also be somebody who does not betray the Erdtree if he was still alive. There are a lot of people who betrayed the Erdtree, and I'm assuming that Messmer is somebody who is trying not to betray the Erdtree. He's trying to cleanse this land because this land doesn't believe in the Erdtree, and they don't believe in the Golden Order, so he's here to cleanse them and be like, all right, well, if you guys aren't going to go willingly to believe the Golden Order, and if you're not going to be on our side willingly, we have no need for you. If you guys don't want to believe in the Golden Order, I'm not going to force you. We're just going to wipe you out. And again, that is bad. Media literacy, we know that is a bad thing. What he's doing is bad, but he is justified in his own eyes. In the perspective of the Golden Order, he is justified. If under Godwyn, even Godwyn would probably agree with him to some extent. Even though Godwyn was nice and kind, again, Godwyn still upheld the beliefs of the Golden Order till his death. Miquella went against it because the only reason he went against it is because they couldn't cure his curse from him and his sister. So even though Miquella loves Godwyn, and even though Miquella did care about the Golden Order to an extent to learn it and the fundamentalism, he left because they couldn't help him. He created his own Erdtree because that couldn't help him. If it could help him, Miquella would still be a part of the Golden Order. He would still believe in it. The only reason he left is because they couldn't help his curse. So Messmer would be somebody that still believes in the Golden Order and isn't considered a traitor to the Golden Order. I believe he is upholding himself to the Golden Order because, again, in my video, you could see he has the chair in Melania, similar to Melania and Miquella's chair, but he's not there. Why isn't he here? Because he's not a traitor. In this cutscene, Margaret is only talking about traitors to the Golden Order. His chair should be there. Godwyn's chair should be there. But the fact is that they are not traitors, so they're not there. All of these other chairs are here because they're considered traitors. These are all other children of MARIKA and Radagon. And these are the NPCs kind of giving us the context as to why they believe Messmer is bad, why they believe Messmer is a tyrannical dictator, because he probably is. But again, that's their belief against the Golden Order's belief. Which one is right? We don't know. We don't know what these people believe in. That's why it's like, you can't just take it at face value. Like, yes, Messmer is killing them. Yes, Messmer is a tyrannical leader that is purging this land, and it's an unjust war, and it's not worthy of song, and it's a purge without grace. And they're describing it in such a negative context because, again, their beliefs go against his. But he's not taking satisfaction in this. He's just doing what needs to be done. And we don't know what it is these people believe in. We don't know if we even should side with them. We don't know who these people are. We don't know what they believe in. We just know that whatever they believe in is not what Messmer believes in, and that's why we're with them, because we also don't believe in what Messmer believes in, because we as Tarnished are trying to go against the Golden Order as well, and so is Miquella. Miquella's also trying to go against the Golden Order. Again, it seems like our interests kind of just align. We don't know exactly what these people are doing or what they're fighting for, rather than maybe this is just their home area, maybe this is just their land that they're trying to defend. We don't know. We don't know anything. But you can assume from the context that we're given, these NPCs, we don't know what they believe in, but we know that they are against the Golden Order technically by being against Messmer. If they talk about Messmer with such negative connotation and saying he's a tyrannical leader, or saying that it was an unjust war and it wasn't worthy of song and it was purged without honor or grace, we can assume that these people don't agree with the Golden Order, regardless of what they believe in. They don't believe in what we believe in. They're just following Miquella because they have no other choice. They may not believe in Miquella entirely, but they probably just have the goals aligned with Miquella. And what exactly they believe in, again, we don't know. We have no idea what they believe in. Because it's not like Miquella created this land. It's not like Miquella is the reason they exist. They have no reason to believe and follow Miquella as they are, other than the fact that they have no other choice. So when they say that they're following Miquella, and we're not deterred by what's happened from Messmer, we can't assume that they've just always been on Miquella's side. It's more just like, they had their own beliefs. Messmer purged their land and stopped them from like having their own freedom and their own beliefs. So they look to Miquella as their last hope. That's why they're following him. It's not like they've always believed in Miquella and they've always had this thing where it's like, oh, Miquella is the best person ever and we should follow him. It's just like they have no other options. They're going with Miquella. They're following with Miquella, and we as Tarnished are following Miquella as well. So they think that, okay, will you walk with us? They're talking to us as the player now. They're saying, hey, we don't like Messmer. We think Messmer's like, fucked up. We think he's unjust. We think he's tyrannical. Will you walk with us and follow Miquella? Because that's all we have left. We don't know what they believed in before. We don't know. Maybe, again, I'm not trying to insinuate anything bad here, but maybe Messmer could be justified if we learn truly what these people believed in. We don't know what they believed in, but if something that they believed in, eventually we figure that out and it's a bad thing, then it could look that like, yeah, Messmer was kind of in the right to purge this land. I don't know. Again, that could be a more crackpot theory, but I think it's very interesting to speculate that regardless of what the case is, Messmer believes he's doing the right thing. When we find out who these people are or what they believe in, will allow us as the player to be like, okay, yes, that was right, or no, that was wrong. We don't have any of that context yet. We just know that Messmer believes what he's doing is right, and we know that these people believe what he's doing is wrong. That's all we have. We're on the NPC side just because they're following Miquella and we're following Miquella. That's why we're all on the same side. It's not like we're believing in what they believe in. We just are against the Golden Order, and Messmer seems like he's fighting on behalf of the Golden Order. It seems like this area is somewhere that Messmer is purging on behalf of the Golden Order. So let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like or subscribe if you enjoyed. I will be making more DLC content later. I'll be making a lot of DLC related builds very, very soon. My channel is mainly known for builds and min-maxing. I will be doing a ton of that once this DLC comes out. And I also stream on YouTube a lot, so check me out if I'm live. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Super cool that they got this trailer out. It just came out like 3 hours ago. And I hope that my analysis was very thorough and very in-depth. If I missed anything, please let me know. I think I covered most things. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.